screaming and shit. I mean, y'all up here being loud. Like, bruh, number one, this is my Discord.
Two, the high energy. Nigga.
Oh, that one. everything's going good as far as the research is with it. So that's one for sure. I might have to go ahead and do some YouTube next time. But other than that, the podcast is still in on both YouTube and Twitch. So just wait for it. So I just wait on him to try to we might as well go ahead and go with the topic. But I do feel what the last is. So before we do, we're going ahead and get like a little refresh of the topics we're gonna hit right quick. Yeah, Kevin Samuels death, World Wizards Way reversal, BLM caught line, possible, blah blah blah. So yeah, so he joined after me. So, yep. We could join in like the next 2 minutes. let's go ahead. All right, and yeah. So if we're gonna go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, hey man, say man, what to do, man? This your boy Akatek Usu, man. All about the beats and games, man. Pretty much it. But we all about all our podcasts right now, pretty much it. Well, we had Nasi, Disparity, LG, and our special guest, Retro Lag.
Hey. What's poppin'?
Hey, what's it? First of all, like, welcome to this episode 4 of the third season of All Our Podcasts. Pretty much it. First of all, that shit. We in this game been for over three seasons now, so pretty much it. Sorry for pretty much it. Also, I don't know if we could get into this, but pretty much, unfortunately, Waffle, he had to go ahead and take a step back from the podcast, but you know he has to do it for him, and pretty much it's for his mental health, and I'm all for that shit. So do what you got to do. So that's one thing for real.
Just,
I always preach about how mental health is very important.
And remember the word of the day, cult.
So,
I love that, Waffle, man.
Yeah, so
hope you're doing well, brother. Yeah,
I hope you do well, pretty much it, man. So that's one thing I would like to do. So the topics we have is pretty much Kevin Samuel's death. Roe versus Wade reversal.
Yup.
And why BLM is lying. Why they is lying. Oh my God. Why you fucking lying? Yeah.
El Factor Mundo.
All right, but look, you know what? Fuck it. I want to start with Kevin Samuels first of all, because let's be honest. So the thing is that unfortunately, the Godfather had passed away last week. Pretty much it. Some say he would pass away in some wet. I don't know if it's true or not, but the thing is though he did pass away, and pretty much Well, I've been gathering all the research from like all the certain channels. I know that covering it was Medicore tutorials and reviews. You probably know who that is.
Yes. Yeah, he was a big set. He was always he was actually working with him
yeah.
for
Yeah.
a minute. They would do videos together every so often. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
haven't-
O'Shea Du Jackson. I know that brother works with him as well. I think he mentioned him in the video about Kevin passing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so the thing gets about that. Then we also know about the duo. Probably remember one of them was with the big old afro the playback channel. One of the members that I know they part of the Ep collective pretty much it. And I know he used to do all like sports game content and everything. But he on playback he always do like reactions and stuff with his best friend. And the one thing they mentioned in their video about how they felt about it was the fact that Kevin Samuel was about to transition into being on other people's platforms. The purpose is like, why are you never being on other people's platforms that probably agree with him or disagree with him, and to have a certain debate on it and everything.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know who Kevin Samuel is, he was a relationship, like kind of been like a Dr. Hitch, but the only thing is that he ain't gonna spare your goddamn feelings. He gonna tell you how it is.
That's why I
And pretty much how it is. What is reality? And pretty much it. He's trying to get people to stop being, especially black women. And like, man, the funny thing about that shit, when his death came off, black women was celebrating it like, God ding dong, his ass is dead. That's pretty much the fucking it. And the funny thing, that sometimes your so-called expectations of what you think you could deserve, it's not what it is. You gotta do what average. And that's all he was trying to do. It's the whole point of him is trying to build back the black community, the black family. And that's the major thing that he was trying to do. People don't get that shit because they always look at the fucking negative, or even worse, from his mouth. And pretty much, I do agree with this. They only see bits and pieces of his content and never get the whole picture of what the fuck is going on and stuff. I'm sorry, and you know what? Nah, you know what? The one thing about it though, and look, I'm sorry, my black women, I love y'all, and to my black men too. But we are both. Some of us are full of shit. I just be honest and be honest with it. And look, some of y'all, for the black women, look, some of y'all think y'all pretty much deserve a 1% top 1% of man, but y'all don't present the qualities that the top 1% wants in the first fucking place. You're combative as fuck and everything. And then what it is. Some of y'all are very combative and very masculine, and it very much is. And that's just to be real honest though, bro. Like some of y'all are combative masculine. Like if I want to find something of that nigga, I could see that into like a goddamn like a homegirl or some shit. Not you. Look, I want to date a woman, not a man. Goddamn it, shit. What the fuck? What the hell?
Now in the tea. Now we go to the tea part. I like it. Keep going.
No man, what the fuck? Goddamn it, shit. Hell. I want to feel like I could go and get my shoulders rubbed, bitch. What the fuck? You didn't pretty much it. Come on now. Like that's the case. That's the case though. But that is the case though. I want to feel to a point where I'm feeling like, damn, feminine energy is around me and it's soothing, not combative. And that's the one thing problem is. That's why you have so many black men be like, fuck this shit. I am not dating. And this is fucking sad though, because I love my black women, but y'all need to stop being an enemy instead of start being an enemy to us, Sarah. We want that friend, we want our friend back. Come on, my best friend back, kind of type shit. Come on, now. But that's all I gotta say on that shit. But really, y'all. But also, anyone who celebrates a man's death, I hope here's the funny thing about that. God don't like ugly. Oh, but there's another one that don't like ugly. Karma. That's all.
But you know, though, I'm gonna connect this though. So I actually recently watched a video about how with black families and stuff. So long story short, it came up to the conclusion, which actually makes a lot of sense once you really read up into it and look into it, is that back in the '60s, right? As you guys know, us as black folks were actually a lot better off in the '60s than we are as of today, which is why you see everyone thinks that they're oppressed and victimhood and all that kind of stuff, right? But you know why that's happening is that because back in the '60s towards the end of the '60s and into the '70s, we had a president by the name of Lyndon B. Johnson, as you guys know. And so basically what he stated was this, and again, long story short, you have to look into it, is where black woman gets pregnant, black woman, government says, hey, because you're pregnant, I'll give you a check. And, but here's the thing though, you can get rid of the man and you can stay on this check. And this also comes to the welfare program as well. And so when you come today, Cam Samuels, yeah, he wanted to better the black community to try to bring back the nuclear family. But of course, a lot of the majority of black folks today, they want to believe in this oppression or victimhood mentality that they just can't get over that hump. I know y'all might have heard something called the Great Filter, which basically, for like a civilization, right? For us black folks, our Great Filter, it's like think of like a stairway, right? You climb a stairway. Okay, there's an obstacle right in front of us. We can't get over that hump because we're still stuck on this one simple thing right here. We're trying to go above and beyond, but we can't do that because people want to sit there and they don't want to bring back the nuclear family because the majority of parents today, I guarantee the majority of us didn't grow, probably grew up with our mothers, maybe our fault. Like my parents, got divorced around 2000, early 2000s. I grew up with my mother for the most part, and so it makes a lot of sense. But that's what I have to say on that.
I want to tap in, man, with what you were saying. I feel like combined with when you were talking about like the welfare, like that mentality that you're independent, you don't need to rely. And I think this is in general. I think this is in general because I grew up in a household where my mom was on welfare, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
right. Nothing wrong with assistance if you actually need it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna utilize this. You fast forward where you got social media, and all I need to do if I'm a woman, because we're specifically talking about women right now, is paint this image to make it look like I have more value than I actually do, in which case means I'm entitled to get this. So when you have a man that sees that and is educated, well-groomed, has strong values, and he's trying to preach that, no, you're not entitled to that. You are a strong person. However, you got to go out there and get it for yourself before you feel like you deserve it. And then that, what does that do, man? That goes against the agenda, bro. Like, you call me conspiracy theory, man, all you want, but the reality of it is why was there so many clips of him being painted as a bad guy instead of being somebody that's trying to make other people strong? Why?
Because bad news travels fast. And the thing was, he was actually, a lot of people don't understand that he was getting on men first. Like I had to go back and look. He was getting on men first, and he was brutal with men, like telling them about being a high value man and stuff like that. And but when I guess what happened was people, like women, started calling his show, and he started answering questions in his fashion, I guess, and they started getting mad, and people started like basically like, I can't believe this dude said this, and what I'm saying,
Also,
like even when it came to the stuff with dudes, like there's like, honestly, you don't have to agree with everybody when they put out stuff. It's like a lot of people don't understand. It's like the Bible talks about, like, eat the meat and spit out the bones. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, what that means is, if you find something that you feel doesn't fit you, you don't have to take that. You know what I'm saying? And but a lot of people would rather sit up here and just be emotionally like attached to it because, well, this doesn't fit me. Well, okay, well then just throw the shit away if it doesn't fit you. And but a lot of, like I said, with a lot of black women, it was just a lot of bad attitudes. And the biggest takeaway from Kevin Samuels that I got was, it was the same thing that I've been saying for years, especially when I was working in it, in the adult industry with some of the dancers and stuff. Was like, you have these standards, right? You want this. This is what you want. But Matter of fact, I'm gonna backtrack. There's this dancer I was talking to, and I was like in the DJ booth, and I was talking to her. She was like, kind of like, well, why I can't find a man? And I was like, well, what's your ideal man, right? And she's like, well, he was about. I was like, nope, don't tell me, I don't care, I don't care, don't tell me. Okay, he could be 5, he could be 6 foot, whatever, tall, dark, handsome, big dick, whatever the fuck. I don't care. Right? Now think about that for a minute. She was about to tell me. She was like, I was like, just think about it for a second. Think about you got an idea what you want, right? Okay, so look at your situation right now. Think about your current situation. Do you think the man of your dreams will want you right now at your current situation? When I tell you her face changed, she didn't even tell me nothing. Her face changed, and that was the answer that I needed. Because a lot of people, that was the same thing that Kevin Samuels is telling them. It's like, look, you're expecting up here, okay? And then I think there was a clip. I think Gothix put it in her video where Kevin Samuels was like, y'all call yourselves well educated. You got all of these degrees. You got all of this, that, and the third. You're running businesses and this, that, and the third. You're smart enough to do all of this, but then you turn around and get with Pookie and Ray Ray. You feel me? So so in other words, you so smart, you stupid.
But then you gotta also consider like especially I hate to do this, but in my opinion, I always separate black people first, especially specifically black folks, because you always have the smart people, and then you have the niggas, and I know LG knows what I'm talking about. You have the niggas, and so no black woman. They don't want a smart nigga. They don't want a smart person, but they want to go with the nigga, the broke down nigga that ain't got shit, that want to be a drug dealer or whatever.
Ain't trying to do shit.
But
it's the same.
you got the black dude though, who's smart, who got a high class job and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to go with him because he's too white, or he's not black
boring.
enough.
Yeah,
or he's boring.
If you don't,
he doesn't.
Okay, if that's the fucking case, then you a boring ass bitch anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, one can argue that because it's like that's what they come for. It's like they want that sense of protection, and like not to kind of like go into MGTOW / red pill territory. They talk about stuff like that. It's like a lot of them. Now, granted, some of them they go off the wall with the shit, which I don't agree with. A lot of them they don't even want to be in the same building as a woman, because they think it's going to be just a problem, it's going to be an issue or whatever. And I don't agree with that, because we all need each other at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. We all need each other. So you can't have one without the other. Just what has to happen is and I get it, for years it's been in TV for years that men need to do better. It's always been men have been thrown on the bus for years. Like when it comes down to these talk shows on TV, the Maury Show, these things, and even with like what Disparity is saying with the welfare, which a lot of if you should know Disparity, what group of people were over the welfare system?
I think white people, right?
Yeah.
Democrats.
Well, Democrats. Well, yes.
That was Democrats. Yeah, the Democrats, which were the same people that were the ones that head up the KKK, but nobody wants to talk about that shit either. You know what I'm saying? But but they're the most tolerant people right now. And then it's crazy because black folks are voting Democrat, like it's the thing. And it's like, bro, if you did your history, you wouldn't be so quick to vote for them like that. So I'm like, anywho,
because the natural black person, Democrat being the Democrat, it sounds great. And plus, what it is that when we're born and raised, our parents or voting Democrat, and then they teach their children how to vote Democrat. But they don't teach us actual politics. So
they don't teach you to think for yourself. They don't teach you to think for yourself. That's the problem. I think that's a major lacking within a lot of black communities. It's like you don't really get taught to think for yourself. It's really, you learn it the hard way.
Because I'll be honest, when I was coming up, I used to blame some things on man. It's a white people thing. It's a white this, white that. Then around once I started getting to my 20s, so I started to like really think and start to realize like why where's all this hate coming from? What's the issue? What's the deal? But then that's why I consider I'm like basically the black sheep in my family, because I'm different, because I think like that, and you don't want to. They don't want to be part of the pack.
So I want to go ahead. So. I don't know how much you have read into this, Doc Rilla, but I want to get your thoughts real quick. if you don't mind.
On what
On
exactly?
Kevin Samuels for his death and the response and everything.
My only opinion towards that Kevin Samuels thing is the pure fact that if you're okay with celebrating someone's death, that says more about you than the person.
Yeah, that's true. I agree, and that's one of the things I was. That's one of
I
the things I
don't.
was talking about.
I don't
Yep.
care what he said. He not out here murdering nobody, being a pedophile, being a rapist, or anything like that. Y'all literally celebrating a man's death because he made y'all mad. That
Right.
100% says something about y'all more than that, man. Of
Yep.
anything, y'all actually were proving him right because y'all really are showing more than y'all anger towards him dying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
also,
hey,
LG,
Yes.
I was informed to tell you that Nuggy hates you.
Why?
Well, you got
What did I
burrito
do?
burrito Paulson needs to sit her ass down somewhere.
Right. Well, I'm about. Tell her that I'm about to call the Power Rangers if she don't tell me what the fuck's up. She got 30. She has 24 hours to tell me what the issue is.
Wow!
Power
Somebody
Rangers
clip
on
this,
speed.
please.
I got the Yellow Ranger on.
I got. I want to see the tweets after
I
this.
got
I
the
know.
yellow.
I want to be at it directly.
I got the Yellow Ranger on speed dial.
I want to. I want to
Hey,
dive
LG,
in.
see,
Wow.
it's all good.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
I
I,
didn't
I
Now,
know.
wanted. I
now,
wanted to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
now, Retro. Give us
Mm.
your thoughts from a different perspective. We're going to use the black perspective. We need your perspective, sir.
Yeah,
So
we need it.
yeah, so I wasn't like I was paying attention to him when he first kind of popped up on the scene. I'd see him like clips floating around here and there,
Yeah.
and what I started to see was like some of the initial clips I saw was him just exactly like just shooting that shot, giving somebody exactly how it was, and it was like, okay, that's cool, that's genuine. You could kind of see that. Then I started
Mhm.
to see that people were purposely posting clips to show the combativeness, like he's being combative, but he's being combative because this person's being combative. He even said this on one of his when went directly to his IG and I
Yeah.
watched him have an interaction with a woman. He's like, "Look, man, if you're gonna be combative, there's nothing to talk about," you
Yeah.
know. And he
Yup.
was making
Yeah.
valid points, and I think, but then so like I fast forward right, and I'm sitting here and you see people like there's headlines where people are celebrating his death. Some people are supporting it, but it goes back to the thing that people don't see your worth until you're gone. You know what I mean? Like there were so many
Yeah,
people trying to find, and I feel like people were trying to find chinks in his armor when he was here. That's why there
Yeah.
was so much of this combativeness and this vitriol against him because it's like he's saying something that other people aren't saying. He's not
Yeah.
saying what other podcasts are saying when they're bringing on the thought girl on there, the IG model on there that they just want to show for clicks.
Yeah.
He's pointing out the chinks in their armor. Now,
Yeah.
we never got to see him actually bring it to fruition to say, hey, I got my own flaws. But if you go to his website, he's
He
an
did.
image consulting. So what that tells me is the brand I'm giving you, I'm gonna put myself in his shoes for a minute. Kevin Samuels, the image I'm giving you is somebody that is well groomed, well educated, well spoken, gives you what you need to hear. And then maybe if we can really get through all that, you get to see the real side of me. But you don't get to
Yep.
see that if you're my client, if you're my customer, because I'm
Right.
trying to get you to change your image. But
Yeah.
so that's why
Mhm.
I'm just like, I just feel like some people are championing him because he's gone, but why weren't you doing that when he was here? And
They
then
what there were though. There was like that. That's my only counter to that. There was people that were like, if you paid like if you go past the bullshit, like once again mediocre tutorials and reviews.
Mhm.
There was other content creators that he worked with,
Mhm.
and that he would actually connect with, and he was doing this. It was just that, like I said, a lot of times the noise was it was seemingly louder, but like if you go past all the bullshit, you would realize that dude was actually helpful. You know what I'm saying? And to those and the women that actually listened. And matter of fact, the clip that I posted in the conversation earlier, like that he was like, look, my message isn't for those people like that don't listen, like the people that were so combative, that his message wasn't for them. That's why they would lose every single time, is because they were trying to basically, and to kind of take a word from Eric July, they were trying to high side it. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mm-hmm.
they were trying to skirt around the topic, and you know, I'm like, okay, it's one thing to like, okay, if you to not to be faced with reality or whatever and not like it, but it's also another thing to be like, if you don't agree with something or if you feel like something doesn't fit you, like I said earlier, eat the meat, spit out the bones. You know what I'm saying? But until then, what most of what they were doing, they were literally sitting up there. They were doing this stuff. They were literally, you know, talking about, oh, well, I want this, I want that. Well, how come a man doesn't do this? Well, ma'am, you know, you got, you know, how you gonna sit here and make a man wait till marriage? You've already got kids out of wedlock. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you gonna try to, you know, make this new dude wait when you haven't, you know, made the other dude wait? Did you get married when? And the crazy thing, he would ask the question, like, did you make the other dude wait when you had had the kid? Did you make him wait till marriage? You know, and the answer was most of the time no. So he's like no, I didn't. So why are you making this dude wait? You know what I'm saying? So he's like, there was one clip where he said, what did he say? He said, you're a used good trying to, you know, you're a used car trying to ask for new car prices. I was like, phew. I was like, well,
You know what I feel like? I feel like in so many words, he was trying to tell him like, you got to get your shit together, and people don't want to
yeah,
hear that. I don't want to get my shit. I don't have to get my shit together. Well, I'm gonna give you this image, and you're gonna accept that image because I said it's the best thing since sliced bread. But behind closed
right,
doors, shit, I can't pay my bills. My freaking cars are broke down. You know, I'm staying at people's houses. Like
yeah,
whatever they wanna fit into their lifestyle. So that's
yeah.
kind of how I feel. But people don't want to hear it, man. They don't want to
Right.
be receptive to it, you know?
They
So
didn't,
No.
and the black community is like basically what he showed was the black community was just basically the biggest proponent of that. And what's sad is the fact that like I put in the clip here is like he wanted black folks to win, and he was like, even if you didn't, you know, like black men, like at least find a few things um that you could, you know, could stand about that person and say okay, and build from there instead of finding that one thing that you didn't like and harping on that. And he's like, look, I want us as a black community to win. I want us as black folks to win, and that's
Yeah.
something that, you know, he was genuine about, because he's like, man, look, I don't take no pride, you know, I take no pride uh in doing this shit, like, you know what I'm saying, and you know, debasing these women like that. But it's like,
The facts
you
are the
you
facts at
walk,
the end of the day.
you know, if you 5'7", 200 and something pounds, like you built like a
Yeah,
linebacker. If he say you built like a linebacker, I mean, well, hell, you might as well just go
it is
call
what it is.
the NBA,
Hut,
call up the NFL. You know what I'm
hut,
saying?
hut,
Shit, you
fight.
might get something. Call up the
No,
NFL or some shit. You know,
I just
like
want to
make
add.
it. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Let me just add to that. Like, I said like two quotes. I said that like Charlemagne the God says this. Why tell the truth when the lie is more entertaining? We all know that
Truth.
what the man did. The man literally spoke to men and women on both sides. But the truth of the matter is, they are so entertained by the lie that they rather do this. It's always in the community. We rather hear the lies than rather know the truth. I guarantee you,
Mm-hmm.
if like every one of us are being probably called, oh, we hate women, or we do this, we're toxic and all this. I guarantee you, if you just sit with us and have a conversation, it'll be resolved instantly. I
Very
guarantee you, most
much.
of those women
Yeah.
could talk with Kevin Samuels and it would have been done. But no
Yeah,
one wants to have that conversation.
and
And then
understand where
No.
another,
he's coming and understand where he's
yeah,
coming from.
yeah,
That was the thing. Like they didn't want. That's the biggest problem. They didn't understand where he was at. They didn't understand the fact, like Rachel was saying, he's an image consultant, and they were looking for high value men. That's why they went to him, because they wanted high value men, and they were nowhere near the caliber. One of the other, what was one of the big questions he would ask besides age, your height, your weight? You know what I'm saying? If you had any kids, one of the things he would ask was, have you hung around any high value men? Have you hung around any rich men before? And there was a reason, like nobody would get that question. And I'm like, I'm sitting here listening to this. I'm like, why would nobody answer this question? Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Or they wouldn't get why he was asking that question. Because if you hung around these types of people, you would understand
yeah.
how they act. You would
Let me
understand, or
just,
at least have, even if it was just for a moment, you get a brief synopsis of how they acted. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
back to
Nancy. My
what
bad.
And
that clip, what you
also,
said.
Look, Nancy.
yeah.
Nancy.
Mhm.
Nancy.
Yeah, quick. So actually, Taser, I wanted to point out to Taser what she said. Like, Niece and honest drops. It's like being the honest friend. We love you, but we gotta be honest with you and hold you accountable. And let's be real. No one likes to look in the mirror and what their ugly is showing. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
I,
Nancy.
I,
We're going.
I was just about to say, like, they just want to believe in the fairy tales, bro. It's like,
Bruh.
it's the truth. Like I said, even another quote, I heard the quote like this: I speak with non-fiction and facts. The harsh reality is people want to believe in fairy tales and stories which will never lead them to success. Nobody will come out here and go like, you know what? Let me face value. I'm broke. My circumstances are not well, and it's not right for me. Let me go and get myself out of this situation and these predicaments and move on to a better life. You have a job you don't like, fire yourself, get fired, or leave the job or quit. And then afterwards, once you do that, I don't know. I don't care. Like right now, I'm self-employed. I
Oh,
come
it's
out
true
myself.
though. It's absolutely true though. Everything you're
It
touching
is.
on is absolutely true. Like you have to
Yeah.
find your. Yo, check it out, man. When I was a teenager, I remember I went on like when I first joined the military. I had like 3 years where I couldn't find a girlfriend, couldn't date nobody. Like I thought something was wrong with me, man. And I'll be on the phone crying to my mom, like I don't know what's wrong. And like I've always been a spiritual person, so it was like basically God was telling me like you got to get your life together, bro. You out here messing around, running around with your friends, getting high, doing all this dumb shit, but not focused on what your path is. Once I got focused on my path, man, I PCS'd, I went to Hawaii, bam, I met my wife like instantly. And it was just like it just all that's how the universe works. But these women, and I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
because of the way society conveys the message is you have value in being sexy. So flaunt your sexy. There's nothing wrong with flaunting that sexy. So you flaunt that sexy. Now your value is based on your sexy. So you equate that to this person that has something should want me because of that. Wrong.
Right.
Just because you got that does not mean your priorities are in order. They do
That
not.
is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Very
And that's the
true.
sad reality because when he's pointing it out, nobody wants to see it. They want to believe the lie instead of what the truth is.
Right,
know,
and
like,
even the sex, like even when you talking about the sexy part, like a lot of that part, what a lot of people didn't understand was like he was like rate yourself and you can't use 7. Man, they hated that shit, boy. They hated that when because they'll give him their little thing. They'll give like their rating. They'll say, "Oh, I'm a 10," and he's like, he'll be like, "Ma'am, 10." He's like, 10 is like, I forgot who he considered 10 was, and but I know like Kelly Rowland was like up there. I think I want to say like an 8, like a solid 8 or 9. You know what I'm saying?
Kelly
Like,
Rowland's a 10 to me. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, no, but you know what I'm saying? But no, like 8 or 9, like because you think about it, like it was like when you rate yourself, it's like when like 10 is like okay, like straight up everybody knows. Like set like 8 like 9 or 10 is like everybody knows. That's
It's them there, no question.
Yeah, no question. You know what I'm saying? 8, okay, 8 is like all right, cool. Yeah, 8 is like yeah, that's solid. 7 is like okay. 6 is more like along the lines of man, under the right conditions, like maybe the right lighting, the right clothes. Like no, like it's funny, but it's serious though. Like, and
on
this is
Tuesdays. On Taco Tuesdays.
right, or when the lights are off, in a certain angle. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what's numbers for that?
Huh?
What
I
number
was
did you
saying
say
6.
was that?
I said 6.
Oh, you said 6. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, man.
Yeah,
Oh, go
and
ahead.
then like
Go ahead.
5 is like in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And then like 4, and then 4 is kind of like okay. 3,
Okay, question.
2.
Wait.
1.
I got a question.
Yes.
I got a question for everybody in here.
Oh,
We all men.
Mm-hmm.
Ataki,
What up?
yes or no? Would you date a 5?
5 the only shit he gonna get, so might as
The
well.
disparity.
No. Disparity. The answer was for Aki. Don't come in. You
If
get
you
off
rated, no, the question flat out is, Ataki, if you rated her a 5, would you date her? Yes or no?
LG gave the answer already,
No.
man. If the lighting is right,
Okay.
it's Taco Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
I can't ask Retro because he married and his wife would probably kick his ass. Disparity.
It's a hypothetical, man. It's a hypothetical.
Okay, hypothetically, If you was not married and you was a single man, would you date a 5 retro?
Fam, if she a 1 and she got her shit together, yo, we can fix all that. Let's go.
LG, would you date a 5?
Depending. That's it's. I'm leaning towards. I would lean towards it. Yeah.
You know, LG, you need to date a girl.
Disparity, would you date a
I
5?
got the same hair as you. Okay, hold on. But I did a 5. It all depends on the circumstance. Does she if she has herself together, then yeah, why not? As long as she got herself
Night ass 5 total or 5 in the face. That's a good question,
Ooh,
actually.
Yeah,
That's a
A
good
5 total.
Yeah, I think that is a good
5
question.
total.
Because,
Hey,
If we
no,
talking,
let me-
we talking 5 total, then no.
5 total, because I feel like a figure and the face is 2 totally different things.
No. Let me tell you from a good friend. He passed away about a year ago. Named was Johnny Rad. Let me tell you, he said, "Bro, don't ever go for a 10. You need to sit your ass and go for a 5 to a 7, because them niggas put. He's like them bitches put out. Okay, go for them. But you ain't never going for no. Don't ever go for a 10.
But no. You wanna know what? That's actually kind of bad advice, though. To be honest, like that's kind of fucked up, because if you think about it, like, because that's actually setting you up for being undercut, right? Because here's the thing: why he's telling you that, like, I know I'm not talking about him specifically,
Right.
but anybody who would tell you something like that, they're going to be the same ones going for that 10.
Yep.
Let's
That's
just,
usually the ones. Those usually the ones that's doing that.
They'll undercut you. They'll undercut you until you don't go for that 10, and you'll be like, all right, well, whatever. And then they over here sneaking up, trying to play it to the 10. Okay,
Nah,
and
for
they
him,
kinda,
for him though, for specific, no, he got a 6.5 to a 7. What he told
well,
me.
well, I think we got. I think what we got to go back to, man, is we got to go back to the numbering system itself, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put myself in the shoe in the shoe. If a woman was rating me on the whole package scale, and I'm at a 5, that means
Yeah.
I look my life
Yeah.
is. So
Yeah.
is it workable? Is it fixable? Is it a high 5, meaning that we can improve the number, or
Yeah.
is it a low 5, meaning
High
the only
five.
thing he's got going right now for him is his look and his dick, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, she ain't gonna stick around. And then so if we flip it back to me looking at the woman, if
Right.
she's a 10, she don't at a 10, all shit together right now, she
Yeah.
probably ain't even thinking about me, because her business is in order. Her looks are in order. Her fucking
Mhm.
her finances are in order. So I'm the one that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look at my Instagram picture, baby. You like, I'm not fitting the image. But if
Yeah.
I'm a 10 myself, I'm feeling like a 10. I got my
Y'all gotta
priorities
remember
together.
that.
You know what
Yo,
I'm saying? Like then I think
Taylor,
it works.
Taser was
Yeah,
saying basically based off of looks. It's only off of looks,
there's a
yeah.
code, but
He's just adding extra shit to the code. That's what that
I
is.
mean, I'm sorry, but I can easily date a 5 if her personality is a 10 to me.
There you go.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
it's hard for me to say generally just based off of somebody's persona, I would date.
Yeah.
I would
I don't
try
know.
them.
What
But
was
see,
what's the defining factors from Kevin Samuel? What was his defining factors like for the scale? Was it based solely off the look? Like when he
I
says,
think he was talking about looks. Yeah, it was based
oh,
off of
okay.
looks. Yeah.
Then to me,
So he was
strictly off look, a 10 is too
yeah.
much, man. That's high maintenance, man. It's
Yeah.
high maintenance. She's gonna want too much attention. That's like a dude that's a 10. You want too much fucking attention. I don't need all
Well,
that
see,
shit. Give me
and
like
here
a
was the
6, a 7. We're good.
here's
Yeah.
the issue too, and this is the other part that a lot of people didn't pay attention to. Like when it came down to like the numbers and shit, right? When it came down to it, there was a study, and I gotta find it. When it comes to social media, like the dating sites, I forgot what I think it was Tinder or something like that, where it showed that the women judged more harshly than the men. Like our bell
Yeah.
curve
Yeah,
is
I
pretty. Is
just
pretty.
watched that today. Something like
Yeah.
that today. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, our
yeah.
barrel curve goes whoop whoop.
Our bell
There's it.
curve is like really simple. Like really, is really easy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a woman's bell curve is like really short. So
Mm.
like it's really up there. Like it's like especially when it comes to online, like
Mhm.
their standards was like it showed that their standard was high, which is one of the other reasons why Kevin Samuels will talk the shit that
Because
he will.
the more women look for like the survival of the fittest aspect too.
Yeah,
That's what they look for.
I just don't get it. For me,
yeah,
like I'll be
I
honest.
need a persona. I need a persona before anything.
yeah.
Damn how you look. I need your fucking I need to know your persona. I need to know at the end of the day, I need to
It
be
don't.
able to
I'm
sit
gonna
there.
be honest though. On some
I
real
need to
shit.
sit there and be able to say, you know what?
Yeah. A mind first.
We can
so-
work together. We can make some shit happen. Point blank,
Alright.
simple. No questions asked.
But a lot of women ain't
Man.
think like
Because,
that.
but see,
Yeah.
if I can't, but see, the thing is though, if I can't see myself mentally sleeping with you, I won't sleep with you.
I ain't gonna lie.
I just can't sleep.
I ain't
I
gonna
have to
lie.
literally
I
have
can
in my head, I have to see myself willing to sleep with you, So,
Fact.
so that already falls in line with you got to have a one hella fat ass persona.
Yeah.
That's just me though.
But
I'm not everybody though.
Yeah,
No,
but
I can't disagree with that.
I think Anansi was gonna say something.
Yeah, I was like, you can't disagree with that because at the end of the day, when it
Check
comes
it.
to a woman, you can go like, yeah, men, we always are attracted by looks. When I see a woman going, walking down the street and she's jogging, I'm looking at her ass. I'm sorry, I'm a man. What am I gonna do? I
I mean,
know.
that's fair. Like, no,
Man,
that's
I'm gonna be
fair.
like
That's
Project
fair.
Pan that
Wait, wait,
bitch.
wait, wait, wait,
Make
hold
that
up,
ass
hold up.
clap. Make it snap. Talk to me now.
Just
Make
make
that
it
ass
clap.
snap.
Yeah, you know
Hey,
what?
that hoe.
But then,
I can see a nasty sitting on the bench reading the Bible, and then he see a fat ass walk past.
don't do that. Don't do that.
So let me
Gee,
close this
you
page real
can't-
quick.
I still had a God.
Jesus.
But yeah, but my thing is though,
The
me,
Lord
I
is my
won't
shepherd.
You know
mind.
Jesus
Who would I
But
omnipresent,
here's the
right?
thing, like
Jesus,
I would
you know,
say
I'm always swimming
my
after
own
that.
my own best friend, like Lakeisha, is like she's more like a A to me because her personality and her way she is. Now, thing is, yes, she is older than me. She's actually 10 years older than me, actually, to be honest. But the thing is that I would consider, as far as like what type of woman I would consider, I put in a pedestal of the level. It's kind of like my best friend. She's feminine. She's not combative. She listens pretty much. Shit. Yes, she'll probably punch your lights out if needed, but at the same time, will pretty much make sure you're okay. Though the thing is though, but that's if you do something stupid. Trust me. Look, she has a goddamn look that pretty much have me like, oh shit. Here we go. but
Yep.
I look at it like that because like shit, we actually went out pretty much it, and she been wanting to go ahead and go out pretty much it whatever. And hey, I look at this way, shoot, either way you go, if our friendship doesn't go into more, at least I know that I have someone on my side, though. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just wanted to
I
add
mean,
to that.
It's
Let me just say this
honestly,
quick.
it's really at the point where, like I said, at the end of the day, it's subjective, and people
Mhm.
need to understand. People need to understand that part. It's the subjectivity, and I think a lot of women don't get the part where, for men, that we have our own thing too. Like, and it's that it's to the point where like a lot of people would play off, like they'll do it when it comes to like, oh, getting money from us, OnlyFans and shit like that. But then when it really comes down to it, it's like they don't want to respect the fact that we have our choices, and that's one of the things. Like when it comes down to like the whole red pill shit, that a lot of people need to kind of pick up a little bit, at least. I would say, at least to have an understanding of different sides, because you got one side already telling you that men ain't shit, right?
Mm.
You really don't need to hear that shit. That shit's dead. Okay, now when you start listening to some of this red pill content, you're gonna have to sift through it, because there's some, like I said before, there's some men out there that are just completely, off their rocker, offhinged. You know what I'm saying? And completely like, oh well, we don't even need, you don't even need to talk to a woman. You know what I'm saying? Or they start, what they call it, instead of pocket watching, they start dick watching. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, pump, if you're not pumping and dumping by the third time you're talking to her, she's no good type shit. I'm like, bro, chill. Okay, if
Yeah.
that works for you, then okay, that works for you. But like, stop trying to pass that shit off as gospel, okay? Because it's not. All right. If that's not the type of man that
man,
dude is, or whatever, or that's not the type of man that dude want to be, let him be. You know what I'm saying? That's the
Mhm.
beauty of men going their own way. That is their own way. Period. Like, not this pocket watching, watching who people, how many people they sleep with, if they sleep with somebody, or they gotta go overseas, or they gotta do this, or they gotta do that. And it's like, or stop talking to women altogether,
uh,
what is the term? Completely monk, going monk. That's the term. There we go. Going monk. And I'm like, bro, like, okay, if that works for you, fine, bro. But like, stop with that extra shit. Like, it's like watching some shit on YouTube, and it's like, Like, bruh, okay, we get it. You know, there's some shitty women out there. Okay, a lot of them, a lot of women are shitty out there. But damn, you ain't got to go through all that shit. Like,
It's
chill
just
fuck out.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that is that the fact that half these motherfuckers are always trying to put these goddamn so-called politicking ass motherfuckers, they're just mad because they ain't getting their dick wet as of late, pretty much it. So they trying to go and stop your ass from pretty much doing it. So hey,
Right.
look, I
Well,
look at this way. Yep, and it's true, like, bro, like, dude, like, you should be happy for me if I'm pretty much getting some ass. Shit, hell, I would be like, look, oh shit, my dude getting in there. What's up? Like, I'll be,
actually,
yeah.
Miss
So,
this hating ass
behavior.
people,
Actually,
though.
behavior. It's actually very similar for gay men to have relationships. It's very, very similar. Like,
Yeah.
gay men have standards as well. A lot of the gay community, they always look for one or two things. They look for very They look for basically a hot, sexy, masculine man. That's usually what they look for. If you're not a
Or
masculine person,
Yeah,
if you're not a masculine person, then it's gonna be a hard time. It's gonna be a hard time. Now, if you're like a feminine gay man, they're mostly looking for like that fetish, that like what I want to get screwed by a straight male or something like that. You know,
It's a similar well, it's the dynamic is different between if they're feminine or masculine. Basically, it's the same thing with men and women. The only difference is it's two men or two women. You know what I'm saying? Masculine. That's why you, like, for example, with lesbians, you see
the
like
fuck?
one. You see
I'm sorry,
what?
bro. That shit is fucking. What you just said there was fucking crazy. Oh my fucking god.
Cool.
No,
What?
like gay men want to get screwed by a straight one. Like, what the fuck?
yeah,
is
yeah.
that
It's
shit?
it's a fetish thing.
It's a
Basically.
fetish thing,
It's a
dude.
fetish.
I don't want to keep
Okay. I'm
saying.
over here. I lost my point. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we're not denying that gay men are, yes, they're still men, but there are certain points where it's when you grow up,
They're-
you were raised to be either like, if you like, let's say a person grew up as a gay man, they either grow up to be either a masculine person or they grew up to be more feminine.
or
Do they want to put on makeup? Sure, they do it. That's what they want. That's what they want to do. But at the end of the day, that's their that's their life.
Mr. Behavior ain't having it. Mr. Behavior.
But
Mr. Behavior ain't.
And this is coming from a person that's I'm a Christian person. I don't care what. Hey, you want to live your life? Live your life. I don't give a fuck. That's you. You don't bother us. You ain't bothering me. At the end of the day.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, but it's just like you have a dominant in the relationship. You have a submissive in the relationship, and you have some that you also have some that what they call, they got switch, like that can switch. I mean, like I said, it's in any relationship really. It's just you tend to see it a little bit more in homosexual relationships than you do in hetero. Because you a lot of people tend to think to that one side. But anyway, we getting off that because Mr. Behavior. I know how Mr. Behavior operate because he like I said, he's strictly one of those. And he, like, I saw this video the other day. I ain't gonna lie. I was sitting there lurking when he was sitting there talking about the whole Roe v. Wade thing, and boy,
What segue into that? Because you know what?
That was
I
a good
got one.
segue.
I
That was a
got
good
one thing to say.
segue, LG. Hey, that was
Segue.
transition.
I got one thing to say about that. I got one thing to say about that, and I'm gonna leave it at that for this entire conversation because I ain't gonna get into it. I'm a person that I am a very straight up person where if a woman wants to get an abortion, she can get it. If she wants to give up the child up for adoption, she can get it. Okay, and she gets raped by somebody, and she doesn't want to. If she wants to give up the baby, give up the baby.
Hold
if
on,
she
I got a
wants
question.
to, go ahead.
Are we talking about the reversal, like the implications of the reversal, or are we just talking about like pro-choice versus?
No, we can talk. We can talk about
hitting
both.
all of it. We hit
all
all
of it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask. I wanted to ask so I know, like,
when pro-life is talked about.
Yeah. I just want. That's the only thing. The major thing I'm going to say here. It's all about the person's choice at the end of the day. Like, if I was a person that got raped or something like that, it's. But first off, what's going to go through my head is, there's a lot of crazy stuff. You're not going to think straight from the get go. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not going to think straight. So, because you know what, you either want to give it this child, or you want to get an abortion, because it's all about what's going on mentally. I don't care what you all have to say. It's about what this person's going through mentally, because they had that bubble. You know when we grow up, we all talk about that bubble that we have, right? That inner
Yeah.
space bubble. That
Yeah.
shit was that was punctured. Okay,
Yeah.
it was punctured. So if that was punctured, then it's a hard thing to go through,
Right.
mentally.
So let me
Go
go
ahead.
ahead and it's when it comes down to this Roe v. Wade reversal, right? What this does, this is what people don't fucking read, and this is what pisses me off because a lot of people were sitting there saying that, oh, this is messing with women's rights to get an abortion, right? All this does essentially is it takes power away from the federal government, and if they were to reverse it, it would give power back to the states to determine what will be considered legal abortion, which is actually good because you don't want the less federal government control, the better. Okay. Now, the reason why I believe that a lot of people are getting upset about this is because right now, to my knowledge, about 30 states have heavy abortion restrictions. Okay, Texas has the heartbeat bill, which essentially says within 6 weeks, you have 6 weeks from, I believe, your missed period to find out, to get that abortion. Okay. That's 6 weeks. Okay. So that means ladies, you have to be on top of your shit. In other words, right? And the only way they're making exceptions, and like I said, the only exception when it comes down to abortion itself, the only acceptable thing was medical. If it's a medical, I'm talking about severely medical condition. If it's down to either you or the child. You know what I'm saying? So like if your mental health is going to be affected, you know what I'm saying? Or if your physical health is going to be affected. You feel me? And those are the big arguments that a lot of people were saying. Oh, well, what if the medical, what if they're raped, or what if this, that, and the third? And it's like, those are, things that you may want to consider. Now, I did some research, and I think the state of Florida in 2020 had I talked about it on my video last week. I think it was like 40 something. I think it was 40K abortions in 2020, right? That's over in 1 year, which is a hell of a lot.
Yikes.
And they had to give like reasons. There was people they have I guess a subject for reasons, right? Matter of fact, I'm not even going. Let me go switch over to my server because it's in here, because I talked about it in the social discussion, and I don't want to be completely wrong.
I can to answer your question, behavior. I want to say something like this. As a man, it's all up for discussion. Like if y'all agree to go ahead and do it, there's a lot of because there's so many factors that you put into this. There's not going to be a right or wrong answer at the end of the day. There's so many factors. Like if the woman decides to have an abortion, okay.
Didn't Dave Chappelle say that? I'm sorry.
Like as a man, I would feel some type of way, but at the same time though, I'll have to critical think about it and be like, am I ready for this? Am I ready to be a father? Am I ready? Do I have the financial stability?
But if you're married, that's the same question you did ask if you're married too. But yeah, go ahead, continue. My bad. Go ahead.
And so
I was gonna say if you're married, you don't need to really worry about that as much. But that's a question you need to ask yourself if you're married.
Yeah, if you're married, then yeah, that's a major discussion between the both of you. Now, if you're not married, then it's like I wouldn't call it a relief, but at the same time, it's like you have to really think, how's your life going? Because are you really ready to bring a child, to take care of a child for the next 15, 20 years of your life? You need to be financially stable. You need to make sure you have a house. You need to make sure you have a hotline, college. But there's a lot of things that you got to think about. Yeah. This is why I say it's like there's no right or wrong answer to this. At the end of the day.
Okay, I found the numbers. I found what I was looking for.
Go ahead.
So the state of Florida records a reason for every abortion that occurs within its borders each year. In 2020, there were 74,868 abortions in Florida. Okay, there was a table that lists each region and the percentage of abortions that occurred because of it. Now, the highest on the percentage chart was no reason. They chose to give no reason, which was 74.9%. Okay, so we're not going to count those people. All right. Now, a lot of people that were complaining about or made a situation about the woman's life being endangered or basically a medical issue or psychological or physical health, okay, or even with rape and incest, right? Okay, psychological health was threatened, 1.88%. Okay, the woman's physical health being threatened by the pregnancy, 1.48%. Serious fetal abnormality, 0.98%. Woman's life being endangered by the pregnancy, 20%. Okay, and then the woman being raped, 0.15%, and the pregnancy resulted from an incestuous relationship, 0.01.
What was the
Okay,
highest percentage again? I'm sorry, I missed that one.
the high I haven't got to. Well, I got to the
Oh, okay.
first highest was the no reason. They didn't give a reason.
They
That was
just okay.
74.9.
They just
Now the second highest, okay, I gave you the other ones. The second highest one was the woman aborted for social or economic reasons at 20.4% in comparison to the medical stuff that they were complaining about.
Mm,
That's kind of telling, right?
mhm.
Because and the reason why I kind of look at this and I have an eyebrow raised about this is because if you think about it, right?
Mhm.
And if that is going to be your reason for social or economic reasons, when there is plenty of reason, when there's plenty of ways to get around that problem, right? There's contraceptives, there's condoms, there's this, that, and the third, right? You know what I'm saying? And how
Mhm.
easy is it? Like I'll even use a condom, right? For example, like for women, right? If you know that you don't want to have any babies or whatever, you make sure you have your partner put on the condom. When
And
you don't, when if your partner doesn't put on the condom, why are you still having sex with them?
But also,
That is,
they have to feel
you know what I'm
safe.
saying?
So
Why
wait,
are
here.
and
why are you still having
also
sex with your partner?
and to
Okay,
add
so what
to piggy
exactly are we arguing here? That's really
Hold
what I'm trying. Because I'm
on,
reading, and I'm hearing like three different things. What
well,
exactly are we arguing?
I'm not looking at chat right now because, like I said, I'm trying to give you my basis on what I feel about abortion right now. Okay,
Okay.
Well,
so if you can't make your partner wrap up, right, or if you can't enforce it because it's your body, right, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
right, that your partner, like, you know, you really don't want to have a baby, and you tell your partner, hey, look, I don't want this, but if we're gonna do this, we got to make sure we wrap up. And you're with a partner that doesn't wrap up, that means they don't respect you. And the fact that you're still laying with that person, and you end up having a baby, even though you said you weren't ready, that's on you. That's personal. Once again, personal accountability. Same thing that Kevin Samuels was talking about when it comes down to this shit. Now, me personally, like I said, if it's a medical emergency, you know what I'm saying? Like they said in here, like serious fetal abnormality, physical health or psychological health being threatened, or you know what I'm saying, or your life being endangered. I understand that, right? But according to the numbers, it's few and far between. Okay, if I add those numbers up from the 1.88, the 0.48, that you basically get less, about give or take about 5%
mm-hmm.
of medical issues. That's serious issues. So everything else is basically you did it because you wanted to. That, to me, that's selfishness. So like I said, if you are going to do it, like I said, the only way, like I said, abortion to me should only be a medical emergency. If you're making it a top choice or top 3 choice, I have a problem with it. That's where I have the issue with. Because if that's going to be the first thing you do, because, oh well, this baby, I'm pregnant. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this baby. I'm gonna abort it.
I
That, to
think
me,
You
that
know,
says more about your character than it does for anything else. Because if you can't sit up here, first off, you lack the responsibility to make sure your partner wraps up. Now, I'm not talking about the because condoms aren't perfect. Certain contraceptives may not always work.
and they
Be
suck.
like that.
Sorry, my
You know what
bad.
I'm saying? They do. I get it. I feel it. But it takes two to tango here. And a lot of people are trying to shift this on men and then turn around and say men have no say when it takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
and that's
That's
why,
the
like,
problem.
I could agree with you with that, definitely. But again, when it always comes down to it, too, again, I always come down to, like, when something happened, like, again, when it comes like the rape and stuff, that's a totally different story, in my personal opinion. Because if that happens to you, I don't want this woman or anybody to live the life of what she got
Being
taken away from her.
traumatized.
I don't
Right,
want that.
or be traumatized. That's understandable. I mean,
I don't.
it's a tough
Now,
call to make.
You
now
know,
you
Even
could
with a
say,
medical condition, it's
Hey,
still a tough call to
yeah,
make.
you could say that. Well, she can give it up for abortion. That's still the same because you're willing to let this person go through this trauma, you know, for 9 months straight. You know,
Hmm.
that doesn't roll with me. But I do agree. Abortions, it's very low. Shit happens. It does happen. But like LG was saying though, it's so.
If you make it top, I'm just gonna say it like this: if you make it top 3, if that is your top go-to choice, we got a problem. That's just my personal opinion because there's so many other options out there. There's way too many, and like I said, contraceptives, condoms, all of that. The options are there. The problem is it's this one-sided expectation. Once again, it's a societal problem here. It's one-sided expectations because we as men were supposed to be make sure we wrap up. We're supposed to make sure, we pull out. We got to make sure we do all of the work. When it literally takes 2.
Well, to answer your question, this Kathy Burnett, I don't know who she is, but let me tell you something here. If she was a product of rape, you probably wouldn't realize this, but how much you want to bet that her mother didn't look at her the same way as you would.
And I understand like the emotional trauma, because that's what a lot of people are trying to appeal to is the emotional side, the emotional trauma, the morality of it. I get that, and like I said, I will concede that point that from a moral standpoint, it can get rocky. But like if you look at the numbers I just put up, like the numbers I just put out, right? Literally, the numbers show otherwise. And a lot of people that are making this, oh well, they're trying to take away our rights to an abortion. Abortion is healthcare. No, the fuck it's not. I'm sorry. That is not. No, it's abortion is not healthcare. Like that is not a right to have. The right to kill a baby for what reason? You know what I'm
so
saying? To
I
me, I'm not with that shit.
I
That's not.
used
It's not healthcare.
I
It's an
used
emergency.
to I want to jump in, man. I
I'm
used
sorry.
to really think the same way that LG did. Like I really did. Like I felt the exact same way. And my wife had my wife and I had a lot of conversations about this, and we had somebody. I won't go into details, but what I will say um, is somebody close to us experienced this, and it had nothing to do with like rape or anything like that. It was just, and we really sat down and talked with them and got an understanding. And as men, I'm going to speak only from me, from my experience. So me as a man, I can never think and never be a woman, right? Like regardless
Yeah.
of what society says, you can identify however you want. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother conversation. But I can never be my wife, right?
Yeah.
So her carrying that child and her going through that and just her being a woman having to go through something that I would never experience. I have to try to understand that the best way I can. And for me to sit there and say it's my way or no way, that takes away from her being a woman, because as a woman she understands things more than I do. Is it and morally, ethically, to me, I still to this day don't agree with it. But it's a woman's choice to make in the circumstances. However, if there's 2 people
Yeah.
involved, that's a conversation that needs to be had. You
Exactly.
cannot just make a decision in proxy of the man. No, because you don't know how that man feels. You don't know how that man thinks. You don't know what that man's family thinks.
That's
And,
facts.
and so if me and my wife are married and it came down to us, that is a heart to heart conversation. Fast forward, let's say that's the decision we make.
Yeah.
We have to live with that decision. We have
Mm-hmm.
to live with that for the rest of our lives. That there is
Mm-hmm.
somebody that is gone. My child is gone. I have to live with that.
Yeah.
I have to live. She has to live with that. You don't talk about it. You don't mention it. You carry
You know,
that trauma could be more than having the baby. You
so
see what so
Yeah.
it's
I'm glad you
for
mentioned that.
for
'Cause
for
that's
for
actually
me for me what I think the real bigger question needs to be is it, because this is gonna be a back and forth regardless. It's
mhm.
never gonna be. So for me, the bigger question is why? Why did they make the reversal? What is the reason?
Yeah.
Is it because election year's coming up in a couple years? Like, that's the answer I want. You tell me that
It
answer,
was
okay?
leaked.
Okay.
The thing was, it was the
Okay,
problem
I
was
gotta.
that's on the issue of that is one, it was leaked.
Okay,
That was
I gotta.
it was one, it was leaked.
Okay.
Two, it was a draft. That
Okay.
and that is a big
But,
problem.
I have a
here's the
question.
thing.
I have a
That
no,
change,
wait,
that
Hold
changes.
on. I'm diving right in.
Alright,
Why did they leak it, man? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the landscape of social technology, social networks, there's always agendas, right? Whether
Yes.
it be content you consume, articles that you read, freaking politicians, entertainers, there's always agendas. So why was this the fire starter? Was it because
Yep.
nobody believed that fucking COVID was real? Fucking nobody believed. What was the next thing they tried to do? What was the fucking other thing they just had? Shit, there was something else. In any case, I just feel like there's some other reason why this.
To get us fighting.
no, I
That's
do have
basically
one
what
question.
it
I
is.
do have one. I do
You
have
know what
one
I'm saying?
question though.
Why?
Go ahead, Disparity.
I do have one question. Let's say this baby was born with major deformities. Okay, would y'all want this child to suffer for the rest of her life? Okay, that's the question
But
there.
how
And
can I define that child is suffering?
so
How can
I'm
how
gonna so I'm
because I look at them?
so I'm gonna give you a story. It was actually a video I saw a long time ago where there was a baby girl. Okay, she was born with bones as brittle as glass. One small step breaks a bone. One small hit like tap breaks a bone. So would y'all want her to suffer for? You can't live life like that. Would y'all want her to suffer her life for like that just because how the way how you feel, or would you rather say, I want her to live her life to the fullest that you can be instead of worrying about when's going to be in our next fall, because maybe one day this kid or person might not come back from it. And now answer that to yourself. Now give me I want to answer like that. I want to answer. Get out your feelings. I feel a lot of people in their feelings in the religion right now. Get out your feelings. Think about that.
What do you
Like really, you have a daughter, correct? What if your daughter was born? I'm sorry to use your daughter as an example. I'm sorry, apologize, right? But what if she was born?
Yeah, you really need to.
Yeah, I was about
Because
to,
I
I
plan
was,
to. You kind of crossing the line now, bro.
Because you're I'm trying to get at because you're a father.
Alright, okay.
That's what I'm trying to
I'll
get
jump
at.
in. I'll jump in. I'll just
No,
Okay.
I got this.
I'm not even going to talk about you, Riddler. I'm going to talk about in general. Like
Okay, yeah, go in general.
experience, in my experience at work, right? I see a lot of people come through. I see a lot of people, different families. I treat everybody the same. When I see little kids, especially when I see little kids, it doesn't matter who they are, anything. I show them immense love because they're the closest thing, in my opinion, to God that we will ever get to. That's the first thing. The second thing is, how can I make the decision on somebody else's existence if
and
they're
how do you
already
know?
existing? You
And
know what
how
I'm
do you
saying?
know
Like,
if they really are in pain either? Too, like just
exactly.
because,
Yeah.
like look
Exactly.
at
Like,
look
I
at
have
Ricky
no place
Berwick
to
though.
do that. All I can
Like
do
look,
is love them and try to give them the best. And that's it, man. That's like
like
what I'm expected to do. So I understand what you're saying though, but I feel like that is more of a beforehand type of scenario, which is what I can definitely relate to. I can relate to that.
right, and I get it, but like look at Ricky Berwick, for example. Look at people like Ricky Berwick. Look at people like there's some other people that are like in his situation that I can think of. Crip Daddy on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? They have their conditions, but at the end of the day, they're making the best of it. You know what I'm saying? And they made the decision to say, hey, look, this is what my life is presented to me right now. But I'm still gonna make the best of what I got. And I'm like what Retro was saying. You know, people show them love, people show them respect. Of course, there's gonna be some dumbass idiot that's gonna sit there and talk shit about them. You know what I'm saying? That's like with anything in life. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas don't matter though. Like on some real ass shit. And this, like I said, this is one of the a tough. Like I said, it's a tough call to make, regardless. Like I said at the beginning of my spiel, it's going to be a tough call regardless, because at the end of the day, yeah, the decision's going to end up being made. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, me personally, if that's a top 3 decision, you know, for you, if that's the first thing you go to, then we're gonna have a problem. I'm gonna look at you sideways now, because see, now especially if we've already. Oh, that's a Nancy left. My bad. That kind of threw me off a bit. But like especially if if we didn't have a conversation, if we didn't talk, you know what I'm saying, or even if we did talk and you still decide to go and do what you want to do, like it's a level of disrespect for me. You know what I'm saying? Personally, like I said, you can do what you want if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's your choice. And I don't want to take that choice away. I'm not saying, and like a lot of people are not reading and they thinking that their choice is being taken away. It's not being taken. Well, depending on what state you're in, it's really not being taken away. You know what I'm saying? And it's not healthcare. It's not. It's not a part of. I don't know where they get this. The left leaning people get this idea from because it's not. It's not healthcare. It shouldn't be because the way they're making it seem is like it's an option that you can take. Like it's one of the top options. It's not a top option. And even with if Roe v. Wade were to be reversed and these states have these abortion laws, I'm more than likely willing to bet that they will make exceptions for medical cases. And even with the heartbeat bill and like the Texas heartbeat bill, if you look in there, it'll tell you there are exceptions. But if you do this outside of that 6 weeks, you have to document it. For everything from the doctor to the patient, if the patient lived or died, what was the condition, if the abortion was successful or not, what time, everything. I mean, to the letter, because it has to be shown. I mean, and like I said, it's another human life in this world. Like this is literally the thing, and people that are literally sitting there trying to weaponize sex for this shit. Like which the women that are trying to weaponize sex are the ones that don't get it. But that's just my personal take on the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Let me if you don't mind, LG, let me hop in on this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer your question, Disparity.
All right.
Would I keep that baby?
Yeah.
Let me say this. It would be one hell of a discussion. But my end game is I would keep her. That she would still get treated the same as I treat my daughter now.
Okay.
No questions asked. I would deal with whatever comes up when it comes up.
Okay.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean,
I'm really trying to stay out of this whole abortion thing because
situations always pop up. That's all I'm saying. Like situations, like a lot of my thing is I understand situations pop up. I'm not stupid. Like I get that situations come up. A lot of what ifs, right? But the reality of it is, like, if you look at it, if you were to take a few steps back and look, that a lot of these what if situations that people are trying to make are literally few and far between. I literally gave the numbers like like 1% of what's 1% of 74,000.
also, wait, I just thought about this too. It's something else. Ain't nobody in this chat, ain't none of y'all even brought out. Technology is changing. Technology is evolving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that are being experimented with.
Yep.
To try to end people being paralyzed and everything else now.
That's fact.
So you never know. I understand people who don't believe in all of that stuff and all of that. That's your choice. That's your prerogative. Do what you do.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
But it's there is stuff overseas, there's stuff over here that's being experimented to stop the end, like paralyzation, certain diseases, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you never know what can happen.
Right. You can.
Am I for abortion? Yes. I am for abortion. I am not for abortion if you're just being a dumbass and you choose to have multiple sex partners and you got pregnant.
Yeah.
Because that was your choice to do that. Especially if it's unprotected. That's definitely on you.
Yeah.
Now, as far as rape goes and all that I feel like that's a case by case basis. If you choose not to do it, that's on you.
Yeah.
I would not dislike you for it or anything like that, because you know you don't know how that person feels, and I think a lot of people are not throwing these things in consideration when they're coming up with their statement.
Yeah. I like I said, you can do what you want. All I'm saying is, if that's a like you said earlier, if it's a go-to choice and you ain't do everything you could to protect, you know what I'm saying? You know, to protect yourself, and you just want to jump into abortion because you're selfish. That's exactly what it is. Like we know what the fuck is up. Like it's one
Yeah.
thing. It's one thing to have a medical condition. It's one thing, or if a medical condition arises out of the pregnancy, that's one thing. But it's another thing for it to be completely, uh, or your mental health is affected too. That's another one. Mental health, all that's affected. You know what I'm saying? And then it's another thing for you to be selfish. You feel me? And that's where I draw the line personally. Like I said, that's where I say I'm against it. Like I said, at the end of the day, you do what you want. But like I said, if you're doing it just to be selfish, then I'm like, bro, look, just don't be surprised if we stop talking after that. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm with a girl and she do it just because she want to be selfish, 9 times out of 10, okay, I'm like, all right, you know what? You can stay over that way.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I just feel like when it comes to abortions in general, it's more to do with someone wasn't ready to be a parent because they made bad decisions in their sexual, life into some degree. Um, I know a lot of homeboys that have done that. Like, no, abortion's a real thing, but then they want to be quote unquote Muslim, or they want to be quote unquote Christian, or those sort of
Yeah.
things, and then they say, like in Islam, I know for a fact there's a thing called ensoulment. So they don't believe the fetus gets a soul until 128 days. So they can use that fact that they can have an abortion. Christianity and things like that, that's a no-go. Like, to what Desperry said, would I abort a child if I knew they were suffering like that? No, because I'm taught that even outside Christianity, life is precious. No way. It's not all life, and it's life in general is precious. But then when we talk about things like rape and things like that, it's a gray area. Like for me, being like like for me as a man, I'm like, yo, that's some deep stuff. Like people always like, oh, is it man decision or is it? I think in general, it's a woman's choice to know where she's at with this. And if she knows where she's at with this, then she knows where she has the right to make that abortion or not to make that abortion. I'm not here to judge, but I'm also here to go and alliterate, like what Riddler said and LG said. You're out here going and sleeping with the next man and every other
And
man, and then
not
you want to,
protecting yourself,
and not protecting yourselves. That's on
Yeah.
you.
And
And if you decide to make an abortion and you come to me and then you go like, oh, like I'm just gonna treat you like next time I see you, I don't want to do nothing with you because you didn't come to me. And then afterwards, you like, even if the child's not mine, I don't want nothing to do that. That's a you problem. You need to find out who's the father and speak to them about that situation. These are things people need to realize when we talk about.
And Gina, give me a second. Stop. Behavior. That is a lie. Let me get my goddamn ass up. Morality is not subjective. That's a damn lie.
Oh, what? Oh,
morality is definitely subjective. Morality is subjective because everybody has different morals based on situations. That automatically makes it subjective. Like, there's no way I'm going to sit here and let you sit there and say that. Morality is definitely subjective because there's a lot of things I believe in regarding my morals that the next person definitely will not agree with.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've been very vocal about that. I can't sit there and let you get away with that one. Hell no. Ooh, no.
All right. So
yeah.
My thing is,
y'all can take it from there. I'll let y'all have that conversation.
No,
y'all start talking morality. Hell no. I'll shut that down right now. Oh no.
You're right. Because we all like, even though we're all cool in that, we all have
Yeah.
different morals. We all disagree with things
Well,
that we don't like. You
and
know,
that's
it
all.
is what it
That's
is.
all. Hey, and that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Actually,
we
take
all.
it from him.
That's what I'm saying. We all come from a different background. Like I'm a Christian, but I'm not a hardcore Christian. You know, I'm a black. Like I said, I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm the person that thinks outside the box, that thinks differently, that has different opinions from everybody else. I'm not trying to get people to agree with me. I'm not trying to get people to disagree. I mean, whatever. You know, you don't have to. I don't want people to agree with everything I have to say. I'm just throwing out my opinion because I think differently. But I will not let anybody force to change my opinion just because how you feel. But I do want you to do though is think. You know, that's all. That's how I see it.
You're
I want you
able
to just
Well,
think.
But so here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. What your opinion is and what you believe in is two different things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's when the morals start kicking in. Is what you believe in. That's not an opinion.
You are right about that.
yeah, true. And
That's two
also,
different things.
Well, I
But-
feel like but what you believe in is gonna drive what your opinions on things are. Because, like I said,
Yeah,
when
that's true.
that's true.
when I said
That is
when I
true.
said before my wife and I, before I felt the way LG did, strongly, adamantly, like no, that was like my morality, right? But you are absolutely, it's subjective, and that's why I brought up the woman, because I could never be a woman, regardless of what society says. And I keep bringing that up for a reason, because somebody's
Yeah.
gonna watch this and say whatever the fuck they want to say about that. But that is exactly it. It's subjective because to her, no, it's not based solely off morality. It's based off of things
Her
from
feelings.
her,
Yeah,
and
it's based off of
I
her
can
feelings.
never swap with her for that. So because of that, I have changed my position where I am pro-choice, except when you have made the conscious decision to let that baby grow to a certain point, and then you say, "Nope, you know what? I'm good." Like there was a law
Yeah.
that said something like up to 9 months. Fam,
Yeah. Now that's fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah, and there was
that part I don't agree with.
there
And
were some people that were doing that. They were doing that till the
because you
third
understand?
trimester. Yep. Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, fam, that's
Yeah.
like my baby,
Actually,
bro.
up
If that
until
was my
birth,
kid,
up
I'm
right
sorry,
up
man.
until birth. Actually, there
But
were some
a
that was
woman,
allowed.
like I said though, a woman will always completely feel differently than me. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take that away from her. I'm not. You ask me, I will tell you. You know, I'm like at that point, I would rather, if it was me in the situation, just
Yeah.
put the baby up for adoption. Just put it up for
Yeah.
adoption. If that's the route we want to go. That's
Yeah.
our
All
that's
right.
you know what I'm
You
saying?
know
Each one
what?
of
You
y'all
know
have a
one
different
thing I
point of
want to
view.
put up right now? BLM
What?
bitch asses. Cause pretty
What?
much we already going go on their asses.
Yeah, we gonna
So
get there in a second, but we gotta like let's filter out through the rest of this chat right quick. Like misbehavior, I know you're like once again misbehavior. Like I'm not trying to be, like I said, I've known you for a bit, like because I know you when you deal with Black Sage. Okay, I know your views are way more conservative, and that's fine. I know you're fired up to talk about stuff like this, but please chill. Like I'm telling you this verbally, please, because I'm gonna sit back and the rest of these motherfuckers. Look, it's already Dark Ridley was about to get on your ass, and I was
What was the question?
no, because he was like he's talking about the morality thing, right? And he's talking about the morality. He's still going on he's still going on the morality and opinions part.
Yeah,
You know what
just
I'm
leave
saying?
it.
That's
Just stop
subjective,
it, bro.
right? Like, and like, don't get me wrong. Like, okay, yes, we know it's wrong to abuse animals and children. That yes, we know that there are some people.
That's
There are
not
some,
even a question.
but also,
you get your ass beat.
you know what I'm saying? But there's also, but here's the other side of that, right? Speaking of abusing children, like what was that? The people from the movie fucking 300.
Abuse in general is wrong. Why
yeah,
are we even on this?
Wait.
Spartans?
What was the Spartans? Thank you.
Yes.
Spartans. I'm about to say, don't make me lose my train of thought. Okay, Spartans literally had a thing to where if the baby wasn't a certain health, they would throw them off the cliff.
China did
Yeah.
that. China had a 2-child rule. If you
Yes.
had more than 2 kids, done.
The third
son.
one-
Now what
third
China
one-
did do though is that you can adopt from China. That's the other.
Yeah, but that was
thing.
later though, man.
Yeah,
Later,
that was,
I mean,
you're right
we
though.
talking
You're right.
about
So that was
so
later.
they don't. So
you know.
but then at the end of the day, like I said, you're talking about people that don't know better, or they either know better or they're trying to skew the shit. So yes, we know that shit's wrong, but there are certain people that either A, don't know better, okay, or two, don't give a shit. And they're gonna do what the fuck they want to anyway. That's a whole nother can of worms. So, like I said, in here, we're talking about respecting different people's opinions. Yes, is it a little fucked up that there are some people that may relish in the idea of abortion? Me personally, I'm gonna say yeah. Okay, but at the end of the day, that's that's their decision. And like Retro put it, and he put it pretty well, I might add. You know what I'm saying? We're not the women. Okay, they're not thinking. The thing is, and I'm gonna attack onto this, and you actually made a very good point, Retro, that a lot of women, they're not thinking how we think. That also goes back to how we think differently than they do. So now they're thinking that they're not necessarily thinking logically. They're looking at, how do I feel about this? They're going completely off of their feelings. They're going completely off of, do I, they're thinking through, okay, well, what's my future going to be like? Once again, how we talked about earlier with Kevin Samuels, I don't want to be a single parent mom. I don't want to be looked at as, my friends will, I won't have any friends anymore. I may not have the support. My family may disown me because I was raised in a strict household, and now I went out and I did this, and now I don't know what to do. So my only option is to, you know what I'm saying? So when you're put in that position where you feel like you are boxed in, you know what I'm saying? If you put in that position where you're boxed in, then you're going to move how you feel, what's feel necessary. Now, whether the men are supposed to lead or not, that's a whole different project. That's a whole different thing. We're talking about, you can't lead somebody that don't want to be led.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem,
It's like
right? And
it's same as the saying like you could lead a
horse to water, but
but
you can't make them drink. And
Mm-hmm.
that's which is the big problem in our community. I get it, but that's neither here nor there, because even if they had the leadership, they can still make the decision to do what they want with that. They can still make the decision to abort the baby here. That's the crazy part about this shit, because you can have all of this and they're still thinking, okay, well, I might be a single mother. Okay, well, damn, I might not have support. I don't want baby daddy drama. My mama might disown me. My church might disown me. This, that, and the third. So we don't know how they think about the shit like that. I get it. Now, to us, we be just like, okay, look, we just gotta take one on the chin and go. But that's also attributed to how we were raised and how we were brought up too. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I'm still on the disagreement side, but I am not going to dismiss how Retro put it, what women have to deal with.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I know
I can't dismiss it.
I know Agwa's gonna jump in on the next one, but I think just to close it out, like I'll end from my position, which is everybody. It's one of those polarizing situations, man. You're gonna have people agree to disagree, and I think in another space and time, it would be a whole nother conversation. But we're not in that space and time. We're in our space and time. So all we can do is keep it moving. But you still gotta ask yourself, why did it leak? Why is this the topic of discussion? And we'll never get that answer.
Because
Just
honestly,
like
it's divisive.
it's more popular to talk about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, but nobody wanted to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell, the shit that really matters.
It's just like when
You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm gonna say on that.
It's literally just like when Will Smith punched the hell out of Chris Rock. They forgot all about Ukraine for that moment. That was on the news.
Chris Rock is kind of wearing that.
I don't want to. I don't want to go into that, but like it took all the news out of Ukraine for a bit, for like a week. Okay,
right.
So,
I mean,
and people
I think part of the reason why it leaked, though, the part of the reason why it leaked is because they, like I said, one, it's and that,
because of Chris Rock.
I wish it was. That would be funny if it was. But and I will say this, and I think we can all agree on this: whoever leaked that document needs to go to jail.
Facts.
If you leak this document, if you ever watch this podcast, your ass should be sitting in jail right now because you literally broke a federal code. If anybody in here that's worked for the government at any stretch of time, they will tell you that there are certain things that you don't talk about until it's put out there.
Yeah, for something. There's a reason.
You leaked not only did you
It's a
leak this,
baby formula shortage.
right? You not only did you leak this, this is a first. You leaked a first draft. The thing ain't even done yet, ain't it? Ain't nobody. The main guy that wrote this dissertation
Correct side. That's right.
didn't
And see,
even finish. He just he put out a draft for everybody to look at so it can be amended later. This shit like that takes months to figure out for
and you
them.
see, let me tell you, they did this for a reason because they don't want to tell you that Biden's about to send $40-50 million over to Ukraine right now. But hey, us Americans can use that money to help our own infrastructure and our own situation. But they took the distractions off for that. You know,
Oh man,
so there
I
might be a
don't know.
big conspiracy out there. I mean, I don't know, but hey,
There's a bigger conspiracy all over Europe right now. Like people can't get passports and shit. And I heard even in America, there's apparently they want like this whole infrastructure to be locked in right now because they want the digital, But that's even in here.
That's a whole nother conversation right there.
Right?
Hey,
And
hey.
but you know what?
I'm
Let's
just
start on BLM.
but like,
let me
that
get
shit,
back
like,
to
that shit,
First
Let
of
me
all,
just get
that shit don't need to be like I said. Whoever needs to do that, they need to be arrested, right? Just like old girl that got mad because she got caught because fucking everybody want to talk shit about Candace Owens, right? It's the funny part because everybody was talking shit about Candace Owens and everybody was sitting there trying to make Gothics the Candace Owens jokes about Gothics Owens and all that shit. And now y'all thought Candace Owens wasn't black. She was black. She pulled up and said, "Look, bitch, where the motherfucking money at?
Run it." She said,
Run
"Where
the
they
You know
at?"
what I'm saying? Where the 6 million at? Okay, because I'm tired. Like honestly,
there's
this is the
more.
same shit. This is the same shit that I was saying for a while when I looked at BLM and I was not feeling what they were doing, and I said there was something fishy. Me along with some of us in here, Gothics, whoever else, I clearly said there was something wasn't right with this shit. It just didn't seem right. I was made fun of. I was laughed at. I was told that I was a coon because I did not believe in BLM because the organization. Because I didn't believe in what the organization represented. That I wasn't black enough. And
Sounds
there was even
retarded.
people on the black streamer Twitter that was sitting up here talking about BLM. They still to this day, some motherfucking clown got BLM in their bio right now. And now look at him. The lady that's over the shit, she got caught. I guess BLM stands for buying large mansions. Then, bitch, the fuck. I ain't got time.
Nice drop, yo. Remix.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm fucking over this shit, bro. I told you, like I said it.
Can I turn that ass up right quick though, LG?
Go ahead.
You go on. I want to go after you. I got something to say with that one.
First of all, let's go ahead and say this like that. We get back what LG said, it was a scam in the first place. First of all, and I'm gonna get that smash stream on Twitter too. Anyways, like I had not been
Man,
doing
y'all have fun with this topic. I don't care, man. Whatever. I just know I was right, and that's all I gotta say.
Hold on, can I say something? Can I say
that, bro?
Because I'm not black. I'm not black.
I'm over these discussions, bro. They're nothing. I know I was right. That's all I care about.
I feel like there was 2 iterations of Black Lives Matter. I feel like when the Baltimore riots kicked off, that was the first time you saw Black Lives Matter. And when you saw it, you know what they did? They put the kibosh on that shit, man. They squashed it. They were like, nah. When it came back around when George Floyd died, it was a whole nother organization, man. When them contributions started coming in, that's when the whole thing changed. That's my opinion. Because when it was in Baltimore, there was like, fuck that. They were rioting, they were protesting, and people, what were people saying? Oh, why are you burning your shit? No, man, it was the fucking ghetto, man. Nobody was gonna say nothing about that. They were like, they're destroying their own shit. It don't matter. But guess what they were saying? This is bullshit. It was fucking bullshit. And they squashed it, man. They fucking squashed it because after that, it died down for a little while. Then George Floyd popped up. And I'm not speaking on that one because that's a whole different area as well. But you saw it pop up. Same kind of scenario, except this time, more people were behind it. More places protested. And when you saw the demographics of people that were involved, they were like, okay, we gotta jump in a different way. And that's why it changed, man. That's my opinion only. So
but from what I was saying, this is what I was saying. because what I was seeing was the chick that made the one the face that was the face of this shit, right?
Mhm.
She literally went in and was saying that they was adopting was it communist tactics? They were listening, like Karl Marx was like was a big inspiration for them. They was talking about they was adopting stuff from like Karl Marx and stuff like that. Which for those who don't know, that's big no no, big no no.
Mm.
Mhm.
Karl Marx, bad guy.
Marxism.
Yeah, Marxism. Yes, Marxist. We don't do that shit. Nah, not in America. The fuck wrong with y'all niggas? Y'all here, praising these same niggas that was out here killing other people, trying to take control of shit. And then, like I said, they was sitting there raising money. You know what I'm saying? Had people on Black Streamer Twitter, acting a plum nut, thinking that shit was okay. Well, oh, they got insurance. Stupid asses, not never know how fucking insurance works. Like I said, as they were burning down their own buildings, you know what I'm saying, or letting people, which actually there were people from the outside that was trying to burn down
Right here,
buildings.
real
But they
quick,
was
man. Hey, real quick. Black Lives Matter protest movement that took shape after Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson, Missouri. Ferguson. Remember, Ferguson was the start of it. That was
Yeah.
the start of it. And what happened after that? Because after that, you didn't hear about Black Lives Matter for a while. It popped back up when George Floyd came around. And that's where I'm agreeing with you in what you're saying. But
Yeah.
prior to that, man, I feel like it had grassroots movement because there was no money behind it. And the reality of it was, did they really give a fuck about Ferguson? I mean, look at the water in fucking not in Detroit, in Michigan,
Flint.
man. What's
Flint.
that spot?
You talking about
Flint, in Flint,
Yeah,
Michigan, man.
Flint's actually recovered a little bit better than that now. Actually,
But
that's
at the
actually a lot of
time,
people. Yeah, a lot of people have, a lot of people kept running that story.
Mm.
It's from what I understand, it's actually been okay for years. Now, now that I think about it, it's been okay for years.
But I'm not disagreeing with you. I absolutely agree with what we're seeing now that
I
we've
still
been
think
seeing is just it's money, man. Like who $1 million homes, you chilling in Beverly Hills, you going to these exclusive parties. I mean, that sounds like a front to me. If I've ever seen one, you know?
I mean, the mansion itself was literally hosted for Biden's inauguration, and Biden and Hunter's son,
Wow.
Hunter Biden's
I'm just kidding.
fucking Hunter Biden's
Fuck, Chris,
party.
Rockefeller.
we go like this.
I'm not about to play with you.
Oh shit. I saw Aki had something to say though.
My thing is,
Yeah.
like, first of all, BLM. Here's what I'm going. Before I'm going to start this, I'm going to say this like this. Black Lives Matter, as in the ideal that Black Lives Matter is as the idea. I agree with. We do matter.
I think I think all of that does.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
I think all of us think too.
Yeah, because the thing is about it, as we look at all the contributions as a community we have put into in all the different areas, whether it's the arts, science, just everywhere. Like we have someone who thought of different ways to use a certain type of nuts, which is the peanut. You know what I mean? We have peanut butter, we got peanut this, y'all that. You know, we have someone who thought about the stoplight. Crazy enough, it was thought by, well, a black brother. Crazy. Yeah, I know. But at the same time, hey, I was not there. Pretty much it. I was in another realm before I was brought into this one. I put it that way. Now, with that being said, here's the thing I'm going to say about Black Lives Matter. First of all, let's go and say this. It started good, but I feel like when money comes, you will see what people who really they are.
Mm.
But I'm gonna counter you on that. How do you know that wasn't their initial plan to begin with?
Oh.
Just saying.
You know what?
Yeah, I mean, they did say they had trained Marxists now. They did say they had trained Marxists. And matter of fact, I think Gothix talked about that early too, and when BLM was in its early stages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think they-
but to answer Dark Riddler's question though, you do have a valid point. I would say agree. Yeah, it could not have been that way, but I guess it's that when I don't know what the hell happened, but that's why it turned into what we have now. So one thing about it is that if there's one lesson I would say about this whole thing is that really, like, before you get behind a certain like movement or anything like that, or set in general, do your fucking research first of all. Second of all, don't be so also in it and be ready to go ahead and be corrected within a genuine reason. Also, to Black Stream and Twitter, I hate to say this, but pretty much it. I know half of y'all got my ass blocked, and the most latest person has me cracking the fuck laughing. Anyways, but hey, I just wear that shit with pride. Anyways, at this fucking point, let me put it this way for you: to all the ones that block me, I'm gonna ask you some couple questions. Does it make you feel good? Second question is, does it do you really think that by doing so you think you're gonna hurt someone's feelings? I'm gonna tell you right now, hell the fuck no. And then three, look, I hope you know that Prince, just because you done that, this also shows that you're not willing to listen to reason.
Yeah, or have at least
My
a willing.
my
Yeah.
my last
Let
thing
me
on
just
this.
So that's one thing about it. Like me personally, the idea that Black Lives Matter is man, but pretty much I really all lives matter because we all one race, the human race. So and that's one thing.
My last thing. My last thing on this is that
Mm-hmm.
as a black community, of course, BLM they took advantage of what the black community is currently going through. I mean, it's going to take lots of many years for people to finally start to realize and wake up on what's really going on here. Um, it just sucks the way how things are. Social media at the end of the day has basically made things so widely available that you can just easily pick up your cell phone and record things. Everyone dies every 0.3 to 6 seconds. There's always someone dying, and so it's much easier to record someone getting shot by the police than to try to get $1 out of the state. But anywho, it's
Taser
that.
and Mr. Hayer, y'all goofy as hell. Just want to say
But yeah,
that.
it's just that.
I don't know. For me, I just want to add to
That's all I
like
have to say on that. Really, honestly.
like
Yeah.
you're talking to someone that's family was like my grandma would raise me and install me in the ways of the Black Panthers and parties of that nature. When you see Black Lives Matter, they were trying to do that, but it didn't work. They said that they were donating money. The donations were predominantly to LGBTQ communities. What is the sex orientation of Patrice cousin? Isn't she a lesbian, right?
Yeah.
Same thing, like they try to donate some money to the Caribbean. Man's Jamaica that have Jamaican roots and things of that nature. Right now, in the whole Caribbean, there's a lot of corruption happening, especially Cuba. Anyone knows Cuba? Cuba's a dictatorship. They donated money to the Cuban government, not to the people, to the government, and it's just wild how all
And
these donations.
all in the name of Black Lives Matter. All in the name of Black Lives. Yeah.
They're not,
Go ahead,
yeah,
go ahead,
and
Liz.
it's not black, like, not, you couldn't, these are things I have to ask about Black Lives Matter. Where's the sense coming out of it? Where's all this thing? Is Black Lives really matter? Why are you donating funds to places where it doesn't need to be going? I'm not saying Cuba, because there's black people in Cuba, and the Caribbean needs help right now.
Yeah.
But then it's just so fucked up that these communities. Wait, I got you, Retro.
Oh no, I'm about
It's
to
just
dip, man. I just wanted
oh,
to.
okay.
Let Retro get out his piece real quick before you dip.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tell us who you are, Retro. Go ahead.
Hey, all of that, y'all can find me, man. Real Retro, RETR0LAG. That's really, I want to end on this. In the 60s and 70s, you had something called the Chicano movement. All right? Look it up. You can research it. Why is it now, as a representation of Mexicans, of Puerto Ricans, of Dominicans, Latinos, Latinas, the only representation we have is Latinx? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not discrediting it. I want people to help educate me, and I've spoke on it. Don't get it twisted. But we had a stronger movement, the Chicano movement. We had the brown berets. So if Black lives mattered, then Chicano lives should matter. White lives should matter. Everybody should fucking matter when they're trying to speak up, when they are feeling the most oppressed. And you don't see that. You don't see it. So all my other shit, man, y'all can find me. Real Retro Lag. All the homies know. I want to say thank you for letting me come through, man. It's collaboration season, so we're like this, man. We're locked in.
Yes,
Riddler
sir.
now is the first one. This is the second one. We just gonna keep it moving, man. We're gonna keep moving those pieces. All right,
Indeed.
Shags, what's up, man? Just wanted to say
Yeah.
what's up. I know you used to hang out over here. So,
Yep.
all right, y'all. I'm out. I'll catch y'all in the next one. All right.
All right,
All right,
man.
have a
Later,
good
bro.
one, partner.
Peace.
Later.
Like, even to add to that, like, let me just say this. It's crazy. Like, you know, I don't respect, like, even the Chicano movement and that. I know these. I know this. Like, I grew up studying all these things because that's what we were taught. You know, we grew up in this. I grew up learning about helping the community, learning to help the community. And it just frustrates me all this time. Black lives don't matter right now. It's all about money making. Yeah. If black lives really mattered, we would be out here putting the legworks. You saw the Panthers, they would do stuff that social workers should be doing. Feeding the youth, doing things to help the community, just to go and have homes in nice areas and things of that nature. Black lives matter doing that, ain't doing that. Patrice O'Connor, like, you know, when we talk about all this, like,
She in the house
it's
scared right now. She in the house
I
scared of
know, right?
Candace
We
Owens.
get
'Cause
called
Candace
coons,
Owens is
right?
outside. Candace Owens outside talking about, hey, look, where that 6 million at? And she out there, she out there
Yeah, it's
scared.
like the blinds. It's that Patrice. Is that her?
And then she gets on Instagram live talking about they're the right wing pundits.
No, fuck out. No. This is my last statement I'm gonna make on this. It's the same broken record. Fuck out of here when someone like us goes on Twitter and says you're fucking wrong. You're fucking wrong. Go and say this again and again. Yeah, suck a dick or something. Go and learn to go and stop talking ill about the dead, because Kem Samuels was right. Yeah, you bitches need to learn to think. Yeah, and acquire a man. Yeah, that's that's gonna get you to success, not in the forms of I need a high value. What you know about high value, man? Fuck out of here. Yeah, this is my talk. This is what I'm talking about. Fuck out of here with your politics that you don't even understand, when you can't even grasp when someone texts you on it. Now fuck out of here with that noise.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
I agree. It's just like you cannot, like, this organization was just, it was trashed from the get go. And a lot of people called it out. A lot of people said something about it. I was one of them. Like, I just saw stuff, it just didn't sit right. And people, like, people are stupid, but then people aren't, people are smart at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So people can tell, like, there's sometimes people you can tell when some shit ain't right. You may not be able to, you may not be able to always be able to verbalize it all the time. But there may be a time where you be like, hey, yo, this don't sit right. Okay, I don't understand where this this money is going. They raising $6 million. Like, why do you need $6 million for a mansion for, like, you know what I'm saying?
bro,
But then you're over here mad at Elon Musk for buying Twitter. Like,
that's even
why the
the
fuck
point.
why are you mad at Elon Musk when you could be mad at Patrice Cullors because her fucking stupid ass bought a fucking mansion for party reasons. And she's even admitted to using it. Go look at Ruin Leon's video. He on YouTube, he talks about the shit. Sure did. And I'm like, bro, like, she need to go. And she out here crying, crying to Instagram because she got caught. They want to sit up here and make fun of Candace Owens because, oh, you think because she's proper she won't pull up. Oh, she tapped into her black side today and she tapped in and started going up to people's houses. It says, hey, ma'am, where's that 6 million? The people want to know. Like, the George Floyd's family didn't even get the damn money, the 6 million. George Floyd's family did not get that shit.
That's fun.
You know what I'm saying? And if I'm lying, I'm flying, and I ain't got my wings yet. You know what I'm saying? Black communities right now, we got to do better with this shit. Like, ain't nothing, like I said, I tell folks you can listen to whatever you want to, support whatever artist you want. But at the end of the day, like, when you see people trying to do things and trying to, and actually trying to do something, go and support them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been called a fucking coon by my own supposedly community from these same people that sit up here talking about supporting Black Lives Matter. Them niggas just real quiet now. Yeah. They found out that old girl, they done got a mansion with the money. You over here putting money into a mansion that you ain't never gonna be in.
Mm.
Hell, at least with me, you put money into what I'm trying to do. God dang it, you gonna at least get something out the shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying give me enough money for a mansion. That'd be dope as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. Give me a mansion. Hey, I'm turning that shit out. That's gonna be a party central in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Gonna have a Dynasty Downs room just for a Nancy. Have him come down there.
I'm just saying. I'm bringing Waffle with me. He said he likes the sisters. I'm just giving the card out here. But
You know what I'm
like, no, I
saying?
wanna. It didn't even black like.
And
more
I
black
still
people-
gotta go. Wow. All right.
didn't more
That how
black
you
people-
feeling?
Can I go there?
Let me just say this. Let me say this. Didn't more people die in riots than police brutality that year?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's stupid, right? And they will do it and protests as well. Black Lives Matter did not announce none of those people who died. I know a little girl. Yeah, I didn't know her, but like, I saw that a little girl who did TikTok. She went out and she died. Someone who grew up on listening to Black Panthers, people would bring their children to make their children know what their value was as a black person and what was going on at that time. They weren't dying at that time, right?
Yeah.
But children are dying in peaceful protests and things of that nature.
Right.
That means Black lives don't matter. A cop died. Doesn't his life matter? These are things that you have to ask the black community. And then when you say this, you're wrong. You don't know nothing.
Right. You
Sounds so
tap
retarded.
dancing. You're tap dancing for the white man. Look at you. They put that Daffy Duck meme out, like that Daffy Duck tap dancing meme out, and I'm like, huh? Like I said, and if you don't care about stuff like that, like I said, you deserve every bit of what you get. I really don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Like I said,
Yeah, for sure. You're a
if
duck,
you
in my
think
opinion.
if you think that you can get swindled out of $6 million, you might as well go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead. If you're gonna let Patrice swindle you out that money, well, guess what? It's about to be my turn, bitch. Run me your pockets. If you can pay, if you can pay money, if you can put money to a mansion that you can't live in, okay, how about you support somebody that's actually doing something, that's actually trying to create content that can actually, do giveaways, and because I've been wanting to do giveaways, I've been wanting to get back. What the fuck?
I plan to get back into doing that, but
Man.
I just don't want people to come just because of that. That's my beef with it.
Honestly, first stage.
I mean, that's gonna happen
is
regardless.
Building that community. First stage is like building it. The second stage is treating them right, giving them gifts.
Now, my thing is, it's like it's gonna happen. Like you're gonna get that influx is gonna happen regardless, right? It's gonna happen regardless. Really, that's just how the nature of it goes. That's like, matter of fact, you need to watch the video I did today, because I did a section just for you talking about Meta. I did a section just for you, sir.
But
Meta, as far as what?
Really don't like Meta.
Everybody knows I don't like Meta.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, thank you. Really appreciate you.
Debate on morality when it depends on the morality of what subject exactly.
Yeah, but
overall morality is different from a subject, like different subjects when it comes to morality.
Right, and what people.
That's two totally different things in my opinion.
Well,
but BLM mobile, it's just the same broken record, and people just need to fix up on all when it comes to this. That's like what the story says.
I'm not
we need
saying
to come together as a community and just, not even the community, as people, and just learn to iron out the shit, and then it will be done.
Realize what folks are different. Like, realize, okay, like for example, like the biggest problem right now, like we got too many issues, like with the whole everything coming up, like, okay, with the rise of sex work coming up, everybody wants to like put that down. Everybody wants to, put that under the bus. I'm like, no, accept it. It's there. Okay. Realize that people do that shit and move accordingly. For example, I'm just using that for an example. Okay, you have rappers, right? You know what I'm saying? You got rappers, you got people that do arts, you got, just give those people, and then you have people that do the nerdy shit, the sciences, the video editing, the all of these things. Okay, we just like there's different types of white people, different types of black people. And this is just a message to our community that we got to recognize everybody in the community. Everybody has a spot in the community. The community is big enough for everybody. Everybody doesn't have to be, a thug pretending, a thug, or pretend to be thug, but they really a scientist. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be a thug scientist. Just be a fucking scientist, my nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you just
white people.
But yeah, anyways, I guess we're gonna go ahead and end it up on this note. But just let you know. But the only thing is about this is that be you, be great, always be safe as well, and just like know what you're getting into, because pretty much that will save your ass the headache and possibly more bullshit in the long run, so to speak.
Hey, disparity. We're gonna have to do that tomorrow because I'm still uploading.
Oh, that's fine.
Ain't no way I can.
Yeah,
Well,
so
you already know that.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
but yeah,
Hey,
I would like the
first
person.
thing tomorrow. First thing tomorrow.
Yeah,
Like,
All right.
yeah,
because
but
we can just I can have coffee while we do it and everything else, and then we can sit down,
all
come
right.
stream, and do that. Because worst case scenario, I'll probably end up by the time this is done, I'll probably pull Elden Ring out my ass.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I have respect for Souls players though. Man, yo. I really do. And it's not being on some funny ass shit.
I've never played a Souls game though.
I only played the first one, but that's about it. Yeah, but I would say that much. But other than that, we could talk.
Play it again. But keep going.
But other than that, I would like to say thank y'all very much for coming out. Shout out to Retro Lag for pretty much being a guest. He's our guest for this episode. If you want to go ahead and catch up with everyone, we are, as you can see on the left of us, we are on Spotify and we are on YouTube. We are currently right now, this is the first ever episode we have done do restreaming on both on YouTube and here on Twitch. So the best thing about it is something that we had in the plans of doing. So that way we would be all good and everything. When it comes down to making it's working smart, not hard. So
yeah.
Hey, shout out to Sophia who stopped on in, even though she's busy handling other business tonight. Also, big shout out to her because she is the #1 ranked in the infamous World League. The whole league, not just the women's division, the whole league. She is #1 ranked right now.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much as you can see, go all the socials right there, and pretty much hit me up and everything. Pretty much. Also, if you are a streamer in here and you are looking for graphic work or music work, for graphic work you have Disability right here, and also you also have myself for music way stuff like with streaming sound alerts and everything. I have done something for Disparity. Pretty much there's like 2 people I've done work with, and they are in this thing. That's Disparity and Dark Riddler. So let's go ahead and put it that way, pretty much. So that's what I look at. But other than that, I will be back in the next 2 weeks on...
That'll be about the 25th.
The 25th. That's when so it's on the 25th. So we'll be back. But anyways, also, don't think about it. If y'all have any topics that you want us to discuss, also, please feel free to send them through to one of us, and we'll
Don't ignore my question. What's one of those boxes in your back?
Hurry up in the stream, Hanky. Hurry up in the stream.
Hanky. I gotta hide these bodies. Hurry up.
Bruh. Anyways, look. So with that being said, just go ahead on the 25th. So we will be back here. And also, if you have not catch the episodes, pretty much it from now on this point forward, then we'll also be on YouTube, as we are going to be doing restreaming from now on and everything. So you can pretty much catch up and the whole podcast episodes. Until then, This is Akasakazu, and this has been the All Out Podcast, Season 3, Episode 4. Pretty much it. Y'all take care of yourself. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, and y'all stay care and be space. Have a rest of your night. Peace.
Later.